Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Alex and welcome to TechFlow. Bit of a sad one today because this is our last top 5 in this office. So we thought it would only be right to do an office edition top 5. Let us know one of the items that you like in the comments. We're going to pick one of you, a lucky winner, and give one of these items away. So with the intro out of the way, let's get straight into this top 5. This is sick. So we've had this in the office for a couple of days and you can see it just over my right shoulder on top of my 48-inch OLED panel. Now this is a webcam, but it is honestly unlike anything I have seen before. So obviously the quality is great. It records up to 4K. You can knock it back to 1080 if you would like to. But the thing is with this, it's on a motorized head, so the thing can actually find you and track you as you walk around the room. Not only that, but it can be controlled with gestures. So let's say I move over there, for example, and I want it to zoom in on me. Without having to go to my computer and manually click zoom, you just hold your finger up to it, push your finger in the air, that zooms it in, and subsequently you pull your finger down, that zooms it out, which is absolutely ace. Now, it doesn't stop there. Let's say you're doing a presentation to your class, for example, and you've got a whiteboard on the floor in our case, but let's say you've got it mounted on the wall in your lovely set. You put these little stickers on the corner of the whiteboard so the camera can figure out where it is. You put your 2 fingers up to it like that, it then flashes blue, I think, and then it goes into whiteboard mode, so the camera will then look for the whiteboard and then crop into it so you can see, or your students can see, if you like, what is on the whiteboard in like 4K quality. And then as soon as you're done with doing your presentation on your whiteboard or whatever you're doing, you hold your 2 fingers up to it again and off you go. It's back to normal mode following you around the room. Now let's say you just want to, I don't know, show something on your desk, for example. You can actually put this thing in desk mode, and using some clever computer technology, it will aim the camera down, sort of stretch out the image so it can basically view your entire desk and what you're doing with your hands on your desk. So let's say you wanted to, I don't know, show you typing on your keyboard or something like that on your desk. You can go ahead and show that, and then again with a simple gesture, you give it your gesture, it flashes blue and it's back into normal follow mode. A few other things I like about this device is that, and I thought this was broken when I first started to use it, but it turns out it's not. It has a thing called privacy mode. So when you're actually not using the camera, it will aim the actual camera sensor down so it's not constantly looking in the room. And also for any of you upcoming social mediaists, it goes in portrait mode. So if you're doing some live streams on TikTok, for example, or you want to go on Insta Live, it can go ahead and actually flip the camera. So it's not done in the software, it's done in the hardware. The camera will flip 90 degrees and then you basically have vertical video for streaming on social media platforms. They've really thought about everything with this, and it's a super cool device. This thing is called the Insta360 Link, and now it is not cheap. They come in at about £300, but it is a brand new product, and honestly something that when I got out the box and first started to use it, it just blew me away. It's just one of those new things that I'd never really seen before. It's got a permanent place on my desk behind me. Now coming up next, we've got some items for you Apple fanboys out there. So if you guys got some AirTags and you don't really know where to put them, let's say your keychain doesn't have a little AirTag holder on it, or your wallet doesn't either, this is a little AirTag holder that has some little tricks up its sleeve. And this is it right here. It is one heavy duty boy. So as you can see, the AirTag is in the middle there, and it's designed in such a way that it doesn't block the signal. However, it is made out of metal, so it is really durable. Now I've used the original AirTag holders that actually come with, well, they don't come with the AirTags, but you can buy them separately. And over the last year, the thing has been absolutely battered, obviously with it being on my keys, and all of the leather is already peeling off. Not the greatest thing from Apple, if I do say so myself. Now this is really well made, and as well as it being well made, it also has 4 multi-tools in it, which you can obviously expose like this if you're ever in a sticky situation and you need some little tools. It's got a pocket knife built in, which is basically made from stainless steel. Great for unboxing the rest of all the products that we're going to be looking at. It's got an Allen key for M2 screws, and it's also got a Phillips screwdriver as well as a flathead screwdriver. So no matter what you need to screw, you should be sorted with this in a pinch. They're not much more than the actual AirTag cases from Apple themselves. So you may as well get this and have your multi-tools on your keys as well. Now, something else we picked up from the same brand as well is this Pataka. Well, it's a case right here for my iPad, which I have absolutely been loving recently. So we picked up this keyboard for the iPad, and it's really, really cool. But one thing I found is that it picks up fingerprints like a madman. So securing it in this case has been a godsend. It has a little pouch on the back so you can store your everyday stuff for work, your keys and different bits and bobs like that. And it has a little carry handle on it as well, so you can go ahead and take it from your car into your office, and also plenty of protection around it. Should you drop this thing, it's going to be absolutely fine. Now, the way that it actually mounts to the Apple Magic Keyboard case is that it has some sticky reusable pads on the back which can be reused up to 100 times. And I also really like this carbon design on it. It looks really fresh and sleek. And also, if you're one of them people, and don't be one of them people, that uses your iPad's camera, it has a little magnetic cover there to reveal the little camera on the back of your iPad should you want to use it for whatever you're using it for. This has been really sick, and it's a great addition to my iPad. I really like this, it looks great. It comes in at $89, which is about £75 here with the current exchange rate in the UK, which is an absolute bargain compared to going into Apple and buying one of their cases. Now, one of our major additions to the office is the RoboVac X8 from Eufy. Now, the one problem with our office is there is always cables about, whether it's a microphone cable left on the floor or a power cable that's going across the entire office floor, and these things are automatic, so they come on. I usually set this to come off at about 3 AM when nobody's here. However, if Jed's been naughty and left loads of cables hanging about, this thing, well, robot vacuums usually eat them, but this thing doesn't, because it has this sensor at the front here which can detect obstacles in the room and actually go ahead and avoid them. So the turbine at the bottom doesn't go ahead and chew up all of your cables. And trust me, I've seen it before. I've been there trying to pull cables out of these robotic hoovers, and usually they mess them up and absolutely chew them to pieces. Now, it has this sort of fake carbon fiber rim around it which actually moves, so this can sense if it's actually hitting into something that the camera may have missed. And on top you see this little bit here. This is actually LiDAR which spins around, so this thing can actually go ahead and map out your room. Then with that you can go ahead and tell it to clean certain areas. Not usually a feature that I use, because I just set it to clean the entire office every morning at 3 AM when we're not here. And obviously the bin at the back is really easily removable, and I'm not sure if you can see in there, but we have an abundance of Atlas hair, which I'm happy to see is actually in the bin and not in the turbine. And if you do want to clean the turbine, you just pull this out like this and the turbine is easily removed, so you can maintain these things. Now, one thing that I always say with these robot vacuums is they're great for a while, and then the quality of them and the suction does degrade. Now, to get around that, you have to maintain these things. This thing is a machine with mechanical moving parts, so if things do get clogged in here, obviously it's going to degrade the performance. But that isn't just this vacuum, it's every single vacuum. It's a machine, it has to be maintained. This is the X8 from Eufy. It's great. Okay, so coming up next, I'm not sure if you guys would have seen via my social media, but I've recently been doing up the Beta Squad's house, which includes people like, well, Nico Omilana, if you've ever heard of him. Now, in my quest in doing up their house and building their setups, I've been searching for the perfect cable management system, and these are a few bits behind me that I managed to pick up. Now, having power under your desk, if it's a sit-stand desk like the one behind me and the one that I installed for Nico, this basically mounts under your desk. Now, there's numerous ways to mount power strips under your desk. You can use like double-sided tape, or if your power strip has two little holes in it, you can drill two little screws in and screw it up and lock it on. But the thing that I found with things like that is if you use sticky tape, after a year or so it will fall down and you don't really want that. And if you use the two little screw things and you slightly knock them, then they will just fall off. Now this is a little bit of a hack that I came up with. These are called PDUs and they're usually used inside of like a rack, for example, with all of your servers inside to serve all of the gear inside of there. Now the reason these are really cool is because they actually have exposed holes here. So you can drill this to your desk and once you've done so, it isn't going anywhere. Now another thing that I wanted to show you guys, which I've also found really useful in my sort of cable management struggles, if you like, is these special things. Now I actually don't know the name of these. I'll obviously have the links for you guys in the description, but you can do a few things with cables, right? So you can use like little sticky pads and stick the cables up, but like I've mentioned, sticky pads fall down after a year. You don't really want that. These have sticky pads on them, but they also have a tiny little hole which you can then put a screw through to make sure this thing isn't going anywhere. Another thing I've used in the past as well is cable ties. Now cable ties are great because once they're zipped up, they're not going anywhere, but what happens if you want to change out your monitor or change out your speakers or just change something on your desk? You'll have to go under with a pair of scissors and snip them. Well, not with these. Basically you just unclip them, undo them, and then you can put new cables in them and then securely tighten them down again and then not going anywhere. Now literally for the last 5 years we have used Edifier products throughout our office. I've had a set of desktop speakers from them and a soundbar and subwoofer combo. These things sound absolutely amazing. I'm not sure what Edifier do with their tuning and I'm not going to play you the speaker because there's no point. You just want to take my word for it that this thing does sound really good. So like I've said, it's a wirelessly connected speaker. So all you have to do is feed it power and off you go. Now you download the Edifier app and basically connect it to your wireless network. It supports both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, and once you've got it synced up, you don't actually need to use the Edifier app. Basically what it will do is just appear on your network as a streaming speaker, and it supports a whole host of options. You've got your main ones like Spotify Connect, it does Tidal Connect as well, and it also supports AirPlay for you Apple fanboys. And obviously with AirPlay, what you can go ahead and do then is group this thing together with other speakers. They don't have to be Edifier, they can just be AirPlay speakers, so you could group it with, let's say, a HomePod, for example, and enjoy audio as you wander round your home with speakers in different rooms. Now, if one of these Edifier speakers isn't good enough for you, inside of the Edifier app, you can actually buy 2 of these and link them together as a stereo pair. So the left one will do your left channel and the right one will do your right channel, just so you've got some stereo separation there. Now this is a great thing that we've enjoyed in the office because obviously we have multiple people in here at a time, which basically means whoever's in here can connect up to the Wi-Fi, they can see the speaker on the network, and off they go to the races. It's absolutely great for just some ambient radio or blasting out some tunes here in the office. And like I've mentioned, the sound quality is really good. Throughout our testing, the one thing that we could really compare this thing to was the Sonos Play 1. Now, with this thing being a little bit bigger than the Play 1, it does, in my opinion, sound slightly fuller than that speaker if you have ever heard one before, and it's also about 30 to 40 pounds cheaper than that speaker. It matches my desk as well because it has a walnut finish around the edge, and on top of the speaker, it has some touch capacitive buttons. So you can do things like skip, play, pause the track that you're listening to, and obviously swipe your finger around it to control things like the volume. Now this thing is also compatible with Alexa. However, it doesn't have a microphone built into it. So if you compare this thing to an Alexa, set it as your Alexa default speaker, every time you speak to your Alexa, it will use the Edifier as the source, but obviously it's using your Alexa device as the microphone. So it's got your privacy as their priority. Now the grille is removable at the front, so you can actually see what's going on underneath to create all of this sound. You've got a silk dome tweeter up the top and then a mid-bass driver below, which is also handling all of the bass. It sounds full, it sounds crisp, it sounds great, and with Edifier's DSP inside, it does sound really good. All of Edifier's products, to be fair, do sound really good, but this is ace. It comes in at around £129 here in the UK, which is fairly cheaper than that Sonos Play 1 up there at 180. Great great little speaker, looks good on my desk, and that's it for that. So there you guys have it. Let us know with a comment what was your favorite item below and if you want to win it, and we're going to pick one of you over the next week to, well, win one of these items in this top 5. The last one in the office, it's bittersweet, but we hope you guys have enjoyed. My name's been Alex, this has been TechFlow, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.